Hey engineers, this is Mr. Hernandez, and in this video I'm just going to walk you through this week's lesson, which is the Arduino code report number 3. I'm going to be taking a look at digital inputs, specifically using a push button and an Arduino. So let's go ahead and jump into Tinkercad. I have links here for whichever class period you're in. And for this one, the lesson that we're going to be using is a pre-existing one. So we're going to go over here to Learn, switch over to Circuits, and then we're actually going to go all the way over to Projects. You have to click on Show All Arduino to open this up, and then we're going to go over to Push Button Digital Input. Now there's a bit of a quirk here with Tinkercad. There are instructions here on the left side explaining how to build the circuit, how to write the code, but for whatever reason in Tinkercad everything is already assembled. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that, and we're just going to use this as a demonstration here. So you don't need to change anything about the circuit, you don't need to change anything about the code, and in fact the very first question in our report is just to prove that you actually got to the right section here. I want you to open up the code and give me a screenshot of the baseline circuit, the baseline code, and that'll be your starting point. So let's go ahead and take a look at this circuit as is. So we've got a few things going on here. So on the breadboard, we've got the somewhat familiar setup. We've got an LED. We have power going to our power rails, the positive and negative sides. We've got the LED with a resistor and a connection to the Arduino. That way the Arduino can turn it on. And we also have the button, but the button's not connected straight to the LED like we had before. Instead, we've got this setup here where we've got positive coming in here, then it goes across the switch, then we have a resistor connected to ground, and then this wire coming off over here. This is going to pin D2 on the Arduino. So what that means here is that instead of the button turning the LED on, the button sends a signal that the Arduino detects, and then the code on the Arduino over here on the right side sends a signal to turn the LED on. So we've got an extra step in the middle with the Arduino. So let's go ahead and just simulate this and see what happens. So let's read through the code right now. So there's this block that says set button state to read digital pin 2. So what that means is there's a variable or a parameter that's detecting pin 2 to see if the button's been pressed, and if button state equals high, in other words, if the button is being pressed, set the LED to high. If it's not, set it to low. So in other words, we've got code that says when you press the button, turn the light on. It certainly seems to work, but we definitely have to question, why do we have an Arduino here at all? After all, we could set up a circuit. In fact, we did a couple weeks ago where we do the exact same thing and we don't need to write any code at all. And that circuit was actually simpler than this one. We needed fewer wires, we needed fewer resistors. It just seemed to work a little bit better. Well, the point is, we get to decide what happens here. It doesn't just have to turn the LED on. We can have it do a number of other things. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the simulation here so that we can alter our programming. Now this part is going to be part of your report, so make sure you're paying attention here. So what I want to do here is, instead of setting the LED to high, instead of just turning it on, I want to actually blink the LED. And if we're going to blink the LED, we know that we're going to be turning it on and off in rapid succession. And we've already talked about this before, But when we add code like this, we have to make sure that we have a wait block in between. Otherwise, it's all going to go through so fast that we can't see what's happening. Okay, so this is going to make the LED turn on and then off, which really doesn't mean that it's going to blink. But this is going to make it turn on, off, all in a row. So let's go ahead and try this one out. So I'm going to start the simulation. I'm going to press the button once again. Alright, engineers, so this is where the step-by-step instructions are going to stop. For this next section, what I want you guys to do is I want you to change this code so that instead of being off when you're not pressing the button and blinking when you are pressing the button, I want you to change it so that when you're not pressing the button, the LED is blinking slowly. And when you press the button, the LED starts blinking faster. Now, you guys might need to go back to some of your previous Arduino reports to see the difference. Just a word of advice, if you have shorter delays, if you have shorter wait blocks, it's going to blink faster. If you have longer wait blocks, it's going to blink slower. So the rest is up to you for here. Good luck with your report, and don't forget there's a couple of questions at the very bottom of it. Make sure you get to those as well. Alright, engineers, good luck, and if you don't come to my office hours, have a good Thanksgiving and enjoy your time off. That's all from me here.